All right, everybody. Sorry about the little delay here. Usually I like to get logged in a couple minutes before the game starts, but I was having some technical difficulties. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come here. I know it was a little choppy or the internet cut out earlier, but all right. Second game of the weekend against the Chargers, which is a team here out of northern Illinois somewhere. We're going to start with Cam Cones, and looks like Hudson Sorobi at wing. We're going to have Jack Myers at center, as Wolf and Albert back at D. And that's going to be offside. Puck's back to Albert, up to Sorobi. Puck's up to Cones. All right, Bomer's in at D. Bomer and Wolf currently. We got Signs just came in. Oh, nice play from the Chargers, but not off his stick. We'll have Sorobi dump it deep. He'll go for a change. We've got Signs, Luchansky, and Lukevich up front. Bomer and Hubbard back at D. Signs centers, puck's loose. Oh, goes just wide of the net. All right, we've got Hubbard and Albert in a D right now. And Luchansky shot goes wide. And that's an ice. We'll bring in Bomer and Wolf at D. We'll have Lukes, Gentner, Russo up front. Kept behind the net to Gentner. And on the back of the net, we'll get a whistle. All right, we will keep Bomer and Wolf at D. We're going to change out our forwards. We'll have Clausen, Myers, Cones up front. We've got Weston Trego in net. Let's dump down. We'll go for a change. Nice hustle there from Cones down low. We've got Cones, Signs, Sorobi up front with Albert and Hubbard back at D. And Luchansky comes in off the bench. Albert keeps it in the blue line. That gets him. Puck's loose. Get a whistle. Still was loose. Ref couldn't see it though. All right, we'll keep Hubbard and Albert in a D. We'll have Gentner, Lukes, Russo up front. Puck's back to Albert. He's got time for a shot. It gets deflected. Oh, man. Nice tip there from Gentner. Getting close to scoring there. All right, I know the internet's choppy. The Wi-Fi didn't work great this morning. The problem with Wi-Fi and Rinks is that it'll work amazing for a while, and then it'll cut out and not work, and then the game drops entirely. So I'm on cellular right now, which isn't the greatest here. Game will get posted afterwards again, which should be kind of better quality, less choppiness and stuff. All right, nice stick there. Someone's got to get the puck. All right, Hubbard's got it. Pass it to Luke's. We'll skate it in. We got Bomer and Wolf in at D. Nice steal there from Myers in the neutral zone. Myers is going to skate it in, gets pushed to the edge. And we've got Cones with it behind the net. One guy to beat. Oh, man, nice pass there. They're still going for it. Still loose. That's a goal. That was, I think, Wojciech, I'm pretty sure. Kept up the pressure. Or was that Cones? Looked like Wojciech. I don't know, though. All right. Score 1-0. We're going to keep Bomer and Hubbard in at D. We'll have Steins up front, Clausen up front, Luchansky up front. Face-off win Toledo. Bomer's got it. Sends it over. Back to Bomer, up to Luchansky. Up the Signs. Oh man, that was. Puck's kept in. Chansky has it in the corner. We got Bomer goes off. Wolf comes on. Hubbard keeps it in at the blue line. And the Chargers will dump and change. Wolf reverses back to Hubbard. Up to Clausen, up to Signs. Offsides. Wolf and Albert at D, Luke's, Gentner, Russo up front. Russo's got it, gains the zone. Change out our D. We've got Hubbard and Bomer just came in. Nice. All right, we'll have Albert and Wolf in a D. Cones, Roby and Myers up front. Myers comes up with it. Cones has it. Still has it. We've got Bomer and Hubbard in at D. All right, Bomer comes up with it behind the net. Sends it up the ice. Signs, gets his stick slashed out. We're going to have a shot still loose. All right. So we'll go on the power play here. We'll have, let's see, Hubbard and Wolf at D, Lukes, Gentner, Russo up front. Face off win, back to Wolf. Shot. That's a goal. Little tip there from Gentner to, was it Russo? Yeah. Wolf sends it into the center. A little kind of harmless looking tip from Gentner, and Russo tapped it in. All right. 2-0 here at Toledo. That was a power play goal. We'll be back to even strength, 5-on-5. All right, we're going to have Luchansky, Clausen, wing, Gentner center, Wolf and Albert at D. Got it. Contains the zone. We got Bomer and Hubbard come in at D. Center's got it. Oh man, I almost went in again. Hubbard passes to Luchansky. He's going to get back in the zone. Stayed in the zone. I mean, Luchansky drives the net. Oh, but still loose. It's going to come to Bomer at the blue line. Shot. Oh, man, that almost snuck in. Nice blocker save. Hubbard reaches, just out of his reach. Up to Luchansky. Offsides. All right, Albert and Wolf at D. We've got Myers at center, Roby and Cones at wing. Back to Wolf, up the boards, the Cones. Shot low, still loose. Signs with it, drives the net. Oh, nice save from the goalie. Luke's has it along the boards. Signs with it behind the net. The Wolf. And we're going to have an offsides. All right, 2:45 here left in the first. We'll have Bomer and Hubbard in a D. We'll have Gentner, Kevich, and Russo up front. Back to Bomer. Russo's got it, over to Gentner. All right, Gentner will dump it deep. Puck's back to Bomer. Walks to the center, shot, no traffic. Oh. All right, there we go, up to Luchansky. We've got Luke's to his right. Myers in off the bench with Wolf and Albert at D. Albert up to Luchansky. And nice stop from Trego. All right, we'll have Bomer and Hubbard at D, Cones. Like Clausen and Signs up front. Nice work from Clausen there. Signs has it down low, tries to get it up to Bomer. Bomer pinches. We're going to have Hubbard back with Clausen on the back check. Nice work from Clausen there. Covers. All right, we'll keep Bomer and Hubbard in at D. We'll have Sorovi, Gentner, and Vukevich up front. Nice read from Bomer there to block that pass up. Bomer's going to go with it. He's going to skate it, dump it, and he'll go for a change. Gentner's got it. Gets it back to the blue line. Shot from Albert. We got about 10 seconds left here in the first. Chip it up and out of the zone. There we go. Perfect. That should do it. All right. End of the first. Score is 2-0. right, start of the second. We'll have Luke's, Nixon Luke's, Brighton Russo at wing. We'll have Jack Myers at center, Jace Albert, and Luke Wolf at D. Nice work from Luke along the boards there. And Myers will pick the puck up. He's looking for a pass. Oh, that's a goal from Russo. Myers centered it up to Russo, and nice shot there, 3-0. Bomer and Albert come in at D. Or no, Bomer and Hubbard come in at D. We'll have Signs at center, Luchansky and Clausen at wing. Signs comes up with it. Off Luchansky's skate. And come back the other direction. Save there from Trago. All right, we're going to change out our forwards. We'll have Sorovi, Gentner, and Wilkevich come in. Puck's out of the zone. Sorovi has it in the corner, up to Gentner. Wilkevich back, quick backhand. This is just wide. Sorovi has it. Kind of deflects off a stick or skate or something, and the goalie grabs it. All right, we'll have Wolf and Albert come in at D. We've got Myers, Lukes, and Cones up front. Breakaway there. Turnover at our blue line there, and D couldn't recover. All right, 3-1 game here. All right, we'll have Luchansky and Russo at wing, Signs at center, Bomer and Hubbard at D. Signs has it, he's gonna circle. There's that room, he's gonna try to get it dumped deep. Russo comes up with it, he's got Luchansky going to the net. Off of Bomer, deflected wide. All right, puck's out of the zone. Lions has it. Through some traffic, gains the zone, dump deep. got Hubbard and Wolf in at D right now. Hubbard is going off. Albert comes on. All right, Albert dumps it in. Got Volkevich, Signs, Clausen up front right now. Shot from Signs, hits a body. Puck's out of the zone. Albert goes back behind the net with it. Up to Clausen, he's going to skate it. Nope, gives it to Gentner. Gentner gets it deep. All right, we've got Bomer and Hubbard in a D. Offsides. All right, Bomer and Hubbard at D, Gentner, Throvey, and Cones up front. There we go, nice read from Cones, quick shot, goes just wide. Gentner has it behind the net. Gives it to Cones. There we go. Hubbard keeps it in at the blue line. We get a few change. We got Wolf and Hubbard at D right now. We got Russo, Cones. Stick there from Russo. Comes all the way back to Hubbard. All right, Myers dumps it deep, and we get a whistle for offsides, I think. We'll have Wolf and Albert at D, Russo, Myers, Luke's up front. Myers skates it out. Russo carries it in. Nice pass to Lukes. Oh, man. Shot high. Albert keeps it in. Shot from the blue line. And goalie and cover. All right, Signs is at center, Luchansky, Clausen at wing, Hubbard and Bomer at D. Face-off win, Hubbard sends it towards the net. Bomer's got it and taps it back up. Comes to Bomer. Bomer's got it. Luchansky gets it in the zone. All right, Hubbard sends it deep. All right, we got Wolf and Albert at D right now. Sorobi, Signs, and Luchansky. No, Wukevich up front. Shatner has it, goes to the net. Goalie saves it with his leg pad. Hubbard's got it behind the net. He's gonna wheel around. Got Sorobi up the boards. Up to Gentner. Hubbard's got it behind the net. And out of the zone. Hubbard's got it. Versus back to Bomer. Oh, jeez. Nice save from Trego. Gentner up to Combs. Got Cones, Lutz, Myers up front. Albert with the shot. Albert and Wolf back at D. We got Signs coming in off the bench. So Signs, Myers, Cones. We have a 2-on-1. Oh, nice stick there from the Chargers. Hubbard and Bomer in at D. All right, Signs, Gentner, and Wukevich up front. Wukevich makes it through the Signs, still loose. It's up to Bomer. Sends it back to Signs. Signs gonna get off and go for a change. Hubbard gets it over to Wukevich and gets it deep. Albert and Hubbard at D. Gentner, Russo, and Luchansky up front. Nice pass. Oh, man. Russo dumps it, get a change. We got Bomer and Wolf at D right now. Well, that's still icing. Doesn't matter that he deflected it. He deflected it between the blue and wasn't past half ice. Bomer up to Myers. Like I said earlier, internet here is choppy. Game will get uploaded afterwards. It should be clear with no lag or anything. So my choice was either choppy internet like this or good internet that randomly drops and then you don't have anything. Ooh, shot off the post from Signs, hits the netting. All right, we've got about a minute left here in the second. We'll have Hubbard and Albert back at D, Sorobi, Signs, and maybe Cones.
That's my retainer case.
All right, Sorobi's got it. Passes to Cones, just out of his reach. Signs with it behind the net. He's looking for an opening. All right, we'll take Albert off, we'll put on Wolf. Little trip there, no call. All right, Myers, Lukes, and Russo up front. Seconds. Oh, drive to the net, drive to the net. Trap round attempt, still loose, still loose. All right, that's the buzzer. Scores 3-1 after the end of the second. All right, start of the third, we'll have George Bomer, Jack Hubbard, and at D, Braxton Clausen at left wing, Evan Luchansky at right wing, Roman Signs at center. have a whistle. Signs will go to the box for a hook, it looks like. I didn't see it happen, but... We'll be on the penalty kill here. We're going to have Bomer and Hubbard. At D, we'll have Lukes and Gentner up front. Off. Still short-handed here. On the blue line, not out. Get it out. There you go. Out of the zone. Penalty's going to end here in just a minute. We'll get a trip. There we go. We're going to call on that. All right. We'll have Wolf and Albert at D. Signs at center, Russo and Combs at wing. It's to Albert. Russo's got it in the corner. Signs. Got it. Sends it up along the boards. Russo's got it behind the net. It's offsides. All right, Bomer and Hubbard at B, Myers, Volkevich, and maybe Sarovi, looks like, up front. Volkevich comes up with it. Gets it into the zone. 5. Hubbard's got it. He's going to go behind the net with it. Sends it up to Cherokee. Banks it off the boards, gets deflected. All right, we get a line change. We got Wolf and Albert at D, Luke, Russo, Gentner up front. No call. All right. Russo dumps it deep. Bucks dump down deep. Albert's will go back with it. Up to Luke. Luke dumps it, and we'll go for a change. We got Bomer and Hubbard at D. Signs with the move through the center. Has it as the chance to his right. Hubbard and Wolf at D. Cherokee in off the boards, dumps it deep. With the puck, he's got Combs coming in behind him. Oh, let's go loose. Wolf over to Bomer. Combs with the shot, goalie stops it. Keith, Bomer, and Hubbard at D. Russo, Wilkevich at wing, Gentner at center. Comes back to Bomer. Nice save there. Russo brings it in. Alright. We've got Wolf and Albert at D. Luke's Russo signs up front. Oh, jeez. Hubbard, a D. Cherokee, Cones, Myers up front. Goes behind the net. And Bomer hits it up the boards. Up to Cherokee. Has it. Nice toe drag. Another nice move. Wraparound attempt. Still loose. We've got both D wide open if we can get it to the point. Cones back to Cherokee. Gentner's just in off the board or off the bench. Bomer's got it. Shot. That's a goal. Nice shot from Cones. Nice way to keep the pressure, keep it in the zone. All right. 4-1 with about 4.5 minutes left to go in the game. Luchansky and Wokevich at wing, Gentner at center, Wolf and Albert back at D. Gentner's got it, skates it. Now it's going to come to Wolf, keeps it in. Wokevich shot, and goalie stops it. Wolf, dumps it back in, back to Wolf, and dumps it into the corner. To the blue line, not out. Wokevich has it. He's going to dump it in. Oh, he gets hit from behind. We're going to have a penalty coming. We'll have Bomer and Hubbard. Steve here will be on the power play. Signs, Russo, Lukes up front. Back with it, up to Luke's, the boards, back to Bomer, he's got some time to do what he wants with it, over to Hubbard. Nice stick from Hubbard. All right, up to Russo. He's got Luke's and Signs up with them. Got Wolf and Albert back at D. Up to Wolf. Back to 5-on-5 here. Signs has it. We've got Bomer and Hubbard in a D. That's a goal. All right, we got about a minute left here in the game. Scores 4-2. All right, we'll have Wolf and Albert at D. We'll have Gentner, Russo, Sorovi up front. Gentner over to Russo. Nice move from Russo. Quick shot, and goalie stops it. Goal differential is important for these games. If there's a tie, like the top eight teams out of, I don't know how many are in our division, I think 20. So those top 8 out of 20 will kind of go on to play for the championship. And if there's a 3-way tie for 8th place, they'll look at goal differential. And so even though we're going to win, it'd be nice to get another goal here still. It's going to come up to Bomer. That'll be it. All right, that's a win. Play again tomorrow morning. See you guys then. Like I said, this was pretty choppy. I know I'll upload a game. Should be up within an hour, hopefully. All right. See you.